the recent budget that was read, and it had teachers very hopeful. Government had promised tujja tugulamuko tujenga tuongezamuko, but this budget was read and they didn't get that increment they were expecting. So lero tulese parents, potential parents, mothers, upcoming parents, and upcoming parents. So while the teachers are threatening to strike in 90 days, Bagambe will give you 90 days, government. If you do not look in us, tujja kufuuka ensonga twekalakasa tugana somesa, and 90 days zijja kugwa just in a few days, and our kids will not be in school studying. So I think I'll start with Benda Bangaba, potential parents. What impact does low salary have on a teacher? Ordinary.
Sometimes teachers fail to meet their needs domestically. Actually, in Uganda, I think teachers are low-life people. But why? Because they are the ones who educate everybody in this country. Yeah. So I don't think that they should go for a strike. What I want is the Minister of Education to sit with the teachers for peace talks. For the love of God, I think they will make it.
A hungry person cannot perform to his full expectation. Because the challenge is that while in other sectors people may be getting slightly higher, but when it comes to the teachers, by the nature of the work, you are supposed to be at duty all the time. And you are the one whom I would think you know the value of education much better than the others, because for you are in the process. But take a situation, you have 2 or 3 children, and now you are compelled to take them to schools which you rate as not of the standard, because you know value. Now in that case, do you get the morale to perform to your fullest? I would certainly say no. Wow. Because you are working as a demotivated person. But on the other hand, the advantage that the government thrives on, once a teacher enters the classroom, he forgets what is around him. The environment becomes passionate. And the other aspect is that unlike other professions and maybe other people, you are dealing with people, children who do not matter, who are innocent, who don't know the value. So inside the classroom, the teacher becomes different. He performs, but outside the classroom, he's a demotivated person.
Do you think they actually have a case to say to Jakwe Kalakasa if they do not increase their salary?
They do. If that is the language the government can understand, preferably it's the only answer. Because
I can't hear you.
Yes, preferably that would be the answer, because for quite long, and as compared to neighbors, who even economically, some of them are even a bit lower than us, and their economies are growing so fast, even as compared to ours. Ours is pictured in figures, and we don't see on the ground exactly what is happening. So teachers would use that if that would be the only language for the government to understand them.
Wakati abasomesa obalaba obotunudde embeera gye bayitamu babawa ssente ntinyo naye ate bebasinga okuleeta abantu abamanyi mu ggwanga okiraba wakati olaba omusomesa aba afuna ssente nti ayinza okuba nga yasuze njala ati yafunye emmere yakulya kyakula ali nakeera mu kiraasi kyokka bw'atuuka mu kiraasi ali n'agamba today we are going to look at intestines naye ati kati nga tiyalidde ekyaggulo kyokka agenda kusukka kati abaana abisomesa okiraba oluusi babeera n'ente zaabwe akera ku makya n'agenda n'akola ki n'atwala entuuku y'omuddo biki ebyo okiraba kati agenda otuuka mu kiraasi side business ziba zimuwa ssente nyingi nnyo okusinga zibamuwa muki nze ina muganda wange musomesa okiraba naye kati obuzibu bwe bafuna afunanga emitwalo oba ogazeeko ne rent afunanga emitwalo 55 naye bamuwa emitwalo 55 bazimuwa in 3 installments okyano bamuwayo 10 bamuwayo 2 okiraba tasobola nakufuna ngeri yonna gyayinza kusolozaamu ssente ezafunye okapuloti okiraba kyova olaba nasanga omusajja wa bodaboda n'agamba nze newunya abantu abatula mu offices kubanga buli afuna emitwalo 3 olunaku gye emitwalo 9 omwezi ate ng'omu office simanyi afuna emitwalo 5 okiraba kale nze mbadde ngamba nti gavumenti bwebadde mukola budget yandibadde nga waliwo sectors ezimu okuteeka mu sente sector ya education sector y'ebyobulamu bwebityo.
Wow. Well, we had an opportunity and caught up with James Tweheyo, General Secretary, National Teachers Union. Nabeerako naye byayogera mpozi agenda tuwakoka insight on their plans as teachers, or are they still striking, or then is he for it or is he not for it. Let's take a look at him when we come back. Tulabe, what do we do? What should the teachers do then?
There are a number of issues surrounding the salary, but the major is the increment of the salaries by 20% this financial year. The problem here is government agreed with us, the teachers, that we shall have a salary increment of 50% over a period of 3 years. It was supposed to be structured at 15% for the start, 2012-2013, 2013-2014, 20%, 2015-2016, 15%, to make it a total of 50%. First year, 15% given. Second year, which we expected to be this financial year's budget, nothing is seen. So we were actually surprised when the Honorable Maria Chwanuka reads the budget and she doesn't have a mention of the 20% increment. And you know what is even interesting? Last year, after getting that promise, I can assure you the teachers worked so hard. You could have even seen it when the Honorable Minister of Education was releasing results and saying, now there is a very big improvement in UPE schools, you know. But who does that implementation? The teacher. Government has invested quite a lot in education. But the only person who is going to implement all this government has invested in is the teacher. Now, if you don't facilitate the teacher, it means government is even wasting all the money it is putting into education because it will be of little or no value. Moving forward, for us, we have given the government a notice of 90 days. Come 16th of September, that will be the opening of third term. Be sure we shall not open. Reason, we have said we don't want to disrupt the learning. We could have done it tomorrow. But you know, teachers, we are parents. We sympathize with our children. We don't want anybody to say, no, you disrupted learning. No. If it was, because we can do it, we have the ability, we have the means, we have the capacity. But we're saying, look, government, we are not doing anything in bad faith.
So these 90 days they're giving government to answer to them or give them their promised increment. Do you think it's time enough for the government to do something about it? Is it even effective? Will the government do anything about it? Well, there's one honorable who said teachers are very many. If you want to quit, quit. So, do you think this these 90 days they are giving the government will bring any results for us?
But for
what then should they do as teachers? What should they do for them to see something happen?
They should go for a sit-down strike. Seriously, after 9 days.
Wow.
Tamu yokusatu bena betandise abagamba tetujasomesa by no strike babiri wawe bebako.
But I think 90 days is enough. We parents and teachers are also parents. That's why I think they even asked the government. They told the government to give them 90 days. They are on 90 days because we are parents and they are also parents. So, me what to say is, I would like to call all the born again people in Uganda to pray for this nation, because you know what? Because the devil is working too much these days.
How do we advise teachers to make ends meet? What is that they should do?
I think in principle, There are some times when you plan for things and they backfire, but you don't want to accept they have backfired. The government took over the primary school, suspended the Parent-Teachers Association, which was making a contribution that would sustain the teachers. I think it is high time the government swallows the bitter pill and says, please, I think things are fair. Let the parents make a small contribution. It may not be big, but I think that's where we are heading to. Because at one point parents are going to strike. Why should our children
sit at home
in school? And the other thing which you should also look at is that the present circumstances we are in have divided the country in the sense that there are those children of parents in private schools who are not going to strike because
because they will still be going to school.
For teachers in a private school, you negotiate your pay. And if the head teacher accepts, if the owner accepts,
you're good to go.
So for you are not obliged to join others in a strike because your system is going on. But I think the bottom line is that somehow, somewhere, the government should reconsider that it does no longer hold the ability to pay a teacher fully, so that their Parent-Teachers Association, they can reject certain levels.
They should revisit some.
They should revisit and allow a contribution. After all, there is no point of saying parents don't contribute, but you don't contribute in paying the teachers, you contribute in paying the tax.
Wow.
Because the increments they are made, the parents are going to pay them because they are in the form of a tax. Why not allow the other form to coexist?
Tusobola kukiriza okusoma budget n'ogamba fe tulina 84%. N'ogamba kati tugenda kufuna mu 19%. Iyo budget yaba nene nnyo omuntu ne wagikola waka wa spending omutwalo mulaba nga olina kanana abantu balya ne banywa. Tusobola gamba nti era kiba kiremi. Waliwo obulimba mu government bwe buli erina okuvaayo n'eyogera amazima nti wano awantu mutuufu abalala tuteeke naffe omukono tukole bwe tuti. Kuba government emanyire ku privatizinga buli kimu teyali badde na kintu kyesobola n'amasomero gonna ne bagatunda ne bagamba ga private abantu bamanyire. N'ebyo ne byogamba tugenda kuwaayo ate bano tubalabirire ate n'olemererwa ate nga economies ezirana mu Great Lakes e Kenya mpulira omusaala gw'abasomesa gulina mu miliyoni ezawano kitwalo ng'esatu. Leero gambye e Rwanda naye sente ziba nnyingi kati ate kiki ekiri wano ewaffe ekisigaza omusaala mu mitwalo 3 kikibona ekikyamu kiba kitegeeza wano waliwo obulimba. Gavumenti eveeyo bulambulukufu egambe nti bino ebintu biri bwe biti naye mutuufu katukole bwe tuti mukyo kyokudaawo nga tulimbagana bulimbaganye onaalimba abazadde bano beekalakaasa ku situdio n'amaduuka abasomesa bagenda kwekalakaasa kati buli bamu beekalakaasa katugenda kukola kati buli kintu kyakwekalakaasa tukole tuti abasomesa nabo batuufu bwe banga lwe lulimi olugenda okukola bagezeeko lwakuba ebisigadde babigezaako ne bigaana kati bakole bati.
Please, we are not recommending the demonstration, but omwami nga bwagambye bwewa lwe lulimi olunakola katulinde 90 days, but we hope the government will actually have we'll do something before those 90 days elapse, because we need our children in school studying. Tetusasula school fees ate obasange ewaka nga batu